Welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Diorio. Tonight, writer for PC Mag and host of Throwdown Show podcast, Tony Polanco, is crashing Game Night with us tonight. I am joined by the Beanied one, Gerard. Finally got his videos uploaded to YouTube. Barrera.
Attaboy, getting work done.
Okay, yeah, a little jab in. I like it. What is going on, my fellow nerds? How's it going? Yes, I decided to be a little productive this week. Just a little. Just a tad.
I mean, you're still beating me by far, so.
And, you know, that's never write a movie review ever again, Theo Walski.
You know what? I would like to take the mantle, and I do want to start doing those. So I want to contribute those.
Okay. And then Lion's Mane has decided to ditch us tonight because apparently rating for FF14 is more important.
Now, are we sure he said FF14 or Division 2?
Or Division.
So anyway, let's get started. Tony, how are you doing, man? It's been a busy day for you on Twitter today.
Every day's busy on Twitter, man. Right? With these nuts, coming at your boy, but it's all good. Yeah, no, I've been good, man. Thanks for having me on. I could just by like the banter we were having before the show, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a lot of fun. You fellas are dope. So yeah, man, let's get into it, and we got a lot of interesting topics because like on my show, right, it's all video games all the time. Mm-hmm. You guys had a bunch of pop culture stuff. Here's the fun thing, a lot of new listeners Throwdown may not know. We used to do that too back in the day. In the original version of Throwdown, it was half and half. It was video games and then pop culture. But then we noticed the video game stuff was the stuff that people cared about most. So we phased all that out, and now we just have a lean, mean show focused on nothing but video games.
Games.
We slip in the movies and stuff like that when there's actually like stuff to really talk about. Otherwise, it's mostly gaming.
There is no movies.
Well, if HBO Max has their way.
Yeah, that's true.
Such a bold, I commend them for that move, though. That was a baller move.
They should have told their actors and their directors, because even Chris Nolan.
As a company, that was a baller move. As a studio, that's messed up, man.
So Tony, you've written for Laptop Mag, Tom's Guide, Geek.com, PC Mag. So how long have you actually been writing for?
Right. So I've been writing, I'm talking about like from independent sites, big sites or whatever, since 2012. I started on this site called STFU and Play. Yes, STFU means exactly what you think it means, And it's funny because that was 8 years ago, and the whole mantra of the site was like, yo, just shut up and play a game, stop with this console war stuff. Just funny because that's still going on today. Nothing's changed.
Dude.
Yeah.
No, nothing's changed. So I wrote there for about a year and a half. Then I went over to Dual Shockers. I was there for a little bit, about 7 months. Then I went over to the Coalition, was there for about a year. And then my boy Jeffrey, who's also my editor / drinking buddy, he was like, yo, we need somebody to we just need somebody to just write some stuff for us on Geek and PC Mag, because they're all under the Ziv Davis umbrella, right? That was 2015, end of the year. They just needed some news and stuff, and I had already been doing that for free for years. This is the first time I was like, "Oh, I'm going to get paid. This is great," So it was only supposed to be for 2 months, and then at the end of it, the PC Mag editor was like, "Hey, if we're going to keep doing a couple little things for us here and there, let us know." Geek was like, "Yo, you want to just keep doing what you're doing for us? Just more of it." I'm like, sure. So I was there up until, unfortunately, the site did close down right before the lockdown happened, believe it or not. Right before, literally the week before the lockdown, the shut down. But I had already, been doing stuff for PC Mag, so it was like easy transition. So, I've been doing the writing stuff, making a living off of it for like the past 5 years, which is dope. I'm like, again, till this day, I'm like, yo, I can't believe I get paid for this. Like, I'm just playing games I'm writing about. I'm like, literally the same. I haven't changed my approach in this entire 8 years. Like the same thing. I'm like, play the game, write about them, blah blah. And then on top of that, we've had the the podcast Throwdown that's been going on just as long. But we did in 2014 do like a redo, right? Like kind of like comic books. Like, okay, let's just do a new number one and just go from there.
Nuke the universe.
Pretty much.
Flashpoint issue restart.
Right. Yeah, pretty much, like fresh number one, and it's crazy because now we're like up to, because, okay,
313
for both podcasts, because originally what we did was at the end of Throwdown, we would do fan questions. we keep getting more and more fan questions. So we would have these like
cool.
4-hour crazy podcasts. Like, yo, this is not so. Like, okay, when we're gonna do this thing, let's just split them in two. So now we have two 2-hour podcasts. You know, so a little bit more manageable. So yeah, it's been fun. And obviously, you know, you guys see me on Twitter. Oh man, I'm telling you, I just say whatever I say, and dudes are just,
my God.
You know.
And half the time, like, I'm sitting there trying to work, and I'm like, I just glance over my notifications. I'm like, what the heck did Tony tweet out now? So, like, got no work done this week.
Yeah. Don't look at my timeline. This is a mess. But it's all fun, man. It's all fun.
But yeah, with Throwdown, you know, and then also too is, you know, you just did the Intel little online event that they did, and
the Intel Gaming Arena event, which was really dope. It, like, they had it broadcast in 5 Latin American countries and Canada, so it was cool that I got tapped for that. I did the interview with Adesina Sanchez. Dope interview. It was just so much fun. So it was kind of cool, like, broadcasting this for you know, Latinos, you know. So that was really cool. Originally, it was actually supposed to be done in Spanish. I could have done it, you know, I could speak Spanish, but I'm not like, even though I'm fluent with it, I think in English. I've been in this country, you know, forever basically. So it was kind of good that we did that switch, because it would have been just weird trying to talk, like, translate it in my head and then say it, you know. But they had subtitles or whatever, so it was all good, you know. But yeah, I'm always doing stuff like that. And even this year, even with all this Rona nonsense, like, I've had way more opportunities than I've been in a long time, which is kind of crazy. You know, so
awesome.
It's been cool, man. But normally, you know, when things are fine, even this year, I was traveling all over the place. I went to, you know, like, within the span of 3 weeks, I was in LA, San Francisco, New Orleans, just going everywhere. And then all this nonsense happened, you know. So who knows where I could have gone if everything was normal, you know. But it's all good, you know. Still doing my thing.
And then you frequent Gamertag Radio.
Oh yes.
Danny.
Yeah, so I've been friends with those guys forever. Since, like, I met Danny in 2013 at E3. That was my first E3, but we became like friends like around 2016, 17.
Kind of funny.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
It's because Jerry. So Theo and I knew each other from work. We had gotten industry passes through IBM, which honestly we had nothing to do with the chip division that made the Broadway chip for the Wii and all that. But hey, they took our credentials. So Jerry and I were standing in line for Disney Infinity. This is 2014, when they had that big, massive booth for the Avenger figures and everything. And we just started talking.
That's where we first met. We're all
and now,
wow,
6 years now, you know.
Just random, like,
but yeah, it's
I think you were randomly talking about some sort of game, or we were talking about Infinity, and then I think I mentioned,
and then we started talking about Diddy and the Tester.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh yeah, Diddy and J-Tide are here. Like, I just saw it, and then boom, like, we all just started talking.
Yeah, E3 brings people together, man. I've met a lot of friends just because of E3. Danny being one of them, Paris too, met him at E3. And again, we just become like really close enough. Like, we talk all the time. Like, if you guys could hear the stuff we talk about off air, it's epic, you know. But yeah, you know, sometimes Danny would just hit me up like, "Yo, you want to be on a podcast?" Sure. And he was here in New York for a long time, so you know, we would be hanging out at Bryant Park, and he just whips out the recorders like, all right, let's go, let's do this, you know. And I could do a podcast any time of day. I don't have to prepare for nothing. I'm always ready to talk, you know. Like, I could have done this show without any show notes, you know. It's like, fuck it, let's go, you know, let's talk about what we're gonna talk about.
Hey, that's just my prep, you know. That's just the way I work. I make sure we kind of have topics and stuff, and if we start going off rails, I'll be like, nope, we're not talking about that. So let's get into it, you know. News wise, so honestly, there wasn't a lot of gaming, not a ton of gaming news this week, because everything's prepping for Cyberpunk and everything, but there was some decent news out of the television and movie industries. So first look came out for Superman, for the new Superman and Lois show.
I ain't mad at it. And once again, I have to say, as of right now, this is kind of the best Superman we've had since, I would say, Lois and Clark.
Are we talking like TV Superman?
I don't know about actor, though. I think written-wise,
even actor,
how he was written in Supergirl has been the best. I don't know about actor-wise, though.
I only say actor-wise, yes, because Cavill I don't feel like Cavill has really been given great writing to work with.
True.
Well,
I feel like he's been misused as Superman. That's why I feel like his performance is a little weak, which is why I think it's reverted to him right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see. But yeah. Other announcements this week, we had Oscar Isaac is now been tapped to play Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid, which
he's going to be a busy man.
Tony, how do you feel about yet another gaming movie being made?
Dude, I got a little. This is gonna be all right. Yeah, I get heat for everything, but I got a little bit of heat for this. And I was like, oh, like, because I just said, hey, Oscar Isaac, he's gonna be a great Solid Snake in a terrible Metal Gear movie. And then people are like, how could you say that? And say, like, look at literally the history of video game movies. Like, there's only been 2 video game movies that have been decent. The first Mortal Kombat and the first, I'm going to say this a couple of times now, the first Resident Evil, not the other ones, just the first one.
I agree.
Other than that, they've been trash. So I'm like,
I would only say the Tomb Raider movies, the Angelina Jolie movies were technically successful, but that was because during that time they had the biggest actress do a video game movie.
Yeah.
Granted, they were not good.
They were not. She looked hot, so people wanted to go see it. You know,
that was the reason.
Yeah, no, you're right. They were successful, but I'm not talking about like in terms of quality. Only 2 of them.
I totally agree.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like,
cult classic wise, Mario Brothers. I'm sorry to say.
Oh God. I remember.
You saying that was good though?
It's bad. It's
bad,
I don't know,
but
it's
so
also
bad.
like it's so bad. But it's like that's why I say cult classic. Because it's like, it's bad, but it's also so nostalgic, you kind of like it.
But I think it's worse that there's like super hit or video game movies that like still hit below Mario Brothers, and that bar was set so low by Mario.
Tank
yeah,
Girl,
we got to thank
so
Uwe
low.
Boll for that one. You know, you can thank him for that.
Howard the Duck.
Right.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other announcements.
Oscar Isaac was also cast as Moon Knight as well in Marvel.
Yep.
So he got
that works.
He's going to be.
I'm just going to say this about Metal Gear, because Metal Gear, that's my favorite franchise. Metal Gear Solid 3, my favorite game of all time. So that's why I'm like, oh, man, it's going to hurt when this movie's bad. It is going to be painful.
See, so what do you think the problem is when it comes to the video game movies? Because I have a theory, and I was just wondering what do you think, and what's your kind of theory on it?
Oh, I think it's because they're trying to make them too much like a video game. Remember the Doom movie with Rock? Like they even had a first person part. I'm like, why are you doing that,
so
man?
awful.
Like just okay, take this. What they should do, and this has worked for comic book movies, right? You take the spirit of the source material and you translate that to the medium, which is movies in this case. That's all. Like make a movie that just so happens to have these characters, this world. You don't got to do a one-by-one thing. You don't have to have Snake sneaking around with like a top camera angle, whatever. None of that nonsense.
That's something you throw like a little Easter egg in, like one little scene and like reference to the game. That's cool.
Are we going to get Oscar Isaac in a box?
Oh yeah.
Hopefully not. But I totally agree. But the other thing is like I still think video game movies aren't being taken as serious as like now comic book movies.
Yeah,
I think we're still in that.
You can thank Mario Brothers for that.
Yeah, the reason they're not taken seriously is because they've been bad. That's why. Think about comic book movies weren't taken seriously either until we had the trifecta of Blade, X-Men, and Spider-Man. That's when people were like, "Oh, well, hold on a second."
I'm saying.
You know,
I think we're still waiting for that one Blade, Spider-Man, or whatever movie to finally be taken serious, because like if in my approach for Metal Gear, I would assume like my whole theory on it would be like 007. So I would try and get like Darren Aronofsky or Sam Mendes to try and direct this and take it serious as like that note, and maybe finally sell a video game
an interesting direction
with promise. But
Speaking
I totally agree. I think they're just going to throw money at it, try and make it like the game, and they got a name. So yeah, I'm worried too. I've been worried for the Uncharted movie for so long.
Man,
I have a little semblance of hope from that picture of Tom Holland, but I'm still worried.
Dude,
Come on, man. They got Mark as Sully. Nah, man.
I
You can't do that. Yeah.
You know,
I thought that was wrong. I still question that casting.
I compare the Uncharted Hope to Robin Williams live on Broadway, and he was talking about the creation of golf. We're gonna put a little flag up to give you a wee little bit of hope. You know,
it's not close. It's hundreds of yards away.
Right. Speaking of Tom Holland, though, so news came out from Spider-Man this week. Alfred Molina is gonna be back as Doc Ock, so that's gonna give Doc Ock and Electro as villains. You have rumor now that Emma Watson and Kirsten Dunst are going to come back to reprise their roles. And it broke today, rumor-wise, that Charlie Cox is going to reprise Daredevil for the movie.
Yep.
Is this just becoming too big? And that, you know, I saw this on Twitter today too, I think. Or it was just that, you know, is Tom Holland just going to have a cameo?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Probably. Right? Is this officially is this still his movie technically?
I don't know. I mean, at this
there's
point,
even rumor of like an end of Tom Hardy being like the end credit scene, so that tie into
Venom 2.
Yeah, and there's an added rumor that Ryan Reynolds is also doing a cameo in the movie as well.
Oh man,
yeah,
I would love to see Deadpool in it. So.
Well, he's already rumored in the Doctor Strange movie too.
Yep. All right, let's talk Mandalorian.
Yes.
All right, so I'm gonna fire off first salvo to Tony. What did you think of the episode overall, especially with Boba back in armor?
Oh, so we could say it, right? The spoiler, we could say it.
Oh yeah,
we're done.
Oh, yeah. That was amazing. Like when I don't know the actor's name, but when he showed up, I'm like, whoa,
right?
Is that what I think it is? You know. Because they were trying to be slick about it, be like, "Come on, that's Boba Fett, bro." You know.
Yep.
No. Overall, I was like really impressed. But the episode that I liked the episode before where Ahsoka was there for the first time.
The
like,
Jedi. Yep.
I don't. By the way, can I curse on this show? I don't know if I can or not.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm trying to like, should I chill? You know. But when I saw Ahsoka, because I love the Clone Wars show was amazing. So it was cool seeing her. You know, especially Rosario Dawson looking fine. You know. But that episode specific. I read this crazy thing. You know, because it was directed by Robert Rodriguez, right? And he said that they only had like 19 pages of script, so he just threw in a bunch of action scenes just to fill it all out.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell it's like a lot of action going on.
That's totally Favreau's style.
Yeah, so that was good. And, you know, because I thought this season was going to be like last season where it was like 8 episodes, it's only 7. So I'm like, oh, okay, this explains why so much big stuff happened this episode. You had Grogu being captured. You had the fucking ship being destroyed. I'm like, whoa. Like, dude, I'm guessing. I'm guessing he's going to take Slave One. You know, that's what I think. I think he's going to take Slave One at the end. Like, this is my ship now. Maybe he kills Boba Fett. Who knows?
That was the thing is when they destroyed the Razor Crest.
Yeah,
I was like, damn. I was like, Moff ain't playing around right now.
I thought the episode was so well done in my eyes because one, they eliminated something that was so kind of like beloved, which was the Razor Crest. Everyone's attached to it by now. And then that also ties in that what's her face that was the voice of Mulan and Boba Fett
Fennec
and Faye are all gonna be in the next few episodes.
Yep.
Because he has to stay with them and they're honor bound. So like it became an ensemble cast within one episode.
You realize they tied this episode. Big. This episode was tied into Rogue One.
Yep.
The Dark Troopers. Because I actually rewatched Rogue One last couple days, and that was the other thing is I was like, you actually get to see the Dark Troopers in there. So it's going to be interesting. I'm wondering who the Jedi was that he was communing with.
Oh, I heard a rumor that rumor that the Jedi is like an older what's his face from Fallen Order. Cal, I think his name is. It's like
Cal
Kestis. Yeah, they think it's Cal Kestis. Who knows?
I heard that one. I also heard that Mace Windu is
that'd be crazy.
Really?
And then I was listening, not that I was listening, but a friend of mine was listening to a podcast of Mandalorian podcast, and they were talking about how like maybe Boba Fett and forget the actor's name, Ming-Na Wen, right? Like they're teaming up to sell out the Mando and all that would be interesting. By the way, tying it back to video game movies, Ming-Na Wen, for you guys who don't know, that was Chun-Li from the horrible Street Fighter live action movie.
Yeah. I feel also a cult classic.
Yeah, by the way, she is looking still fine. Like, do you drink virgin's blood to stay that young looking? Like,
she's also one of those actresses that are timeless. She looks
that's like
good.
Lucy Liu, who just turned like 50.
Yeah, ridiculous.
And she's still like she's
yeah. Yo, by the way, Lucy Liu, I met her in real life. She looks even better in real life. Like,
oh god,
Jesus.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who the Jedi is. I mean, there's also rumor that it's Ezra.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the other rumor.
Yep.
Yeah, from Rebels. Yeah.
And then somebody threw out a weird like theory. They're like, well, what if it was 5-year-old Ben Solo? I'm like, no, we ain't gonna get Ben Solo. No, we gotta get the way they're tying this all in. It's gonna be, I think, somebody from Rebels and that time.
Although other rumors now, and I think this got traction too, was that I think in the future they're planning scenes for a young Luke to show up, and I heard that Sebastian Stan got in the front line for it.
That rumor got started because of Boss Logic. He
Yeah,
decided to go put out a,
but then it actually got traction, and Mark Hamill kind of like, yeah, I'm okay with that as long as it's like early.
They're not going to do it unless they actually get his blessing. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
It is Luke. So it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
There's a lot coming from that show. I'm really excited, and it's a long time coming because I haven't been this excited for something Star Wars and been happy with it for I think for a while, for a long time.
I'm the same way. Like, I'll be honest, man. After Last Jedi, I'm like, okay, these people in charge don't know what the hell they're doing. I'm done. I didn't bother with the follow-up movie. I stopped watching Solo. I saw 40 minutes like this is complete trash, right? Last year when the Jedi Fallen Order game came out, I was just so disgusted with Star Wars. I'm like, forget it. But I saw some clips from Mandalorian. I'm like, this kind of looks dope. And then this year I finally got a new 4K TV. I'm like, let me watch the show. I'm like, this is why I love Star Wars. The show reminded me why I love Star Wars. So then I was like, let me play the game. The game was fucking amazing. It was like Jedi Fallen Order. I got the platinum in that and everything. So now I'm kind of back. And then this show, like, just all those Easter eggs to drop it. Thrawn's going to be showing up eventually. I'm like, bruh, this is nuts right now. This is why I love Star Wars, Oh, by the way, what's her face? I don't know what her name is on her, Starbuck, right? Her character was from Rebels as well. So she did the So she did the voice. And the character in the cartoon show looks kind of like her. It was her voice, but now she's actually playing her. And the whole Thrawn thing. I'm like, okay, this is getting deep right now. Like some deep Star Wars stuff, and I love it. I'm all for it. Again, this is what we want to see as fans. Not that trash Last Jedi. Like this is the real stuff.
Can we just give Favreau the keys of the kingdom and just?
That's what I'm saying, man. Just
he kind of already did. He's already getting praise as being the one who's saving Star Wars now. Because
honestly, Ryan Johnson's supposed to have a new trilogy, and after what happened with Last Jedi, I don't want anything to do with it. So
keep him away from Star Wars, man. Keep him, please. Movie was I'm not gonna get into that movie. Was like insulting, man. It really was, you know. And the whole I'll stop. I was gonna rant about Canto Bight. I'm like, why are we having this entire section of this movie that makes no goddamn sense?
Right?
Forget it. Yeah. But no, Mandalorian. That's real Star Wars. I love it.
Yep. Absolutely. And just like you said, the Easter eggs too, just the little subtle things too. That some of it is just like what was it? The episode where Mando gets the armor, from what's his face?
Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah, his character and stuff. And it's like, that puts credence to like those books that were written after Return of the Jedi, and one of them was the story of how Boba got out of the Sarlacc pit.
That's right.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're now starting to
that's back into canon now, because it's
back in.
Was taken out. Yeah.
That was the first thing Kathleen Kennedy did, was say all those books are legend now and don't even exist. And now we're starting to see some of that stuff pulled back in as canon. Like, Timothy Zahn writing the original Thrawn trilogy, for Dark Force, Rising, Heir to the Empire, and all that. And now Thrawn is a major player now in the show.
So many people are
nice
campaigning Cumberbatch to do that. Play that role.
Yeah.
Right?
That'd be good. Yeah.
And there's a lot of there's a petition.
But I don't think his shooting schedule is going to be able to allow it, though, because he's got Doctor Strange, he's got Spider-Man, and the shots for Spider-Man are going to be shot over in London, because of the ongoing with Doctor Strange. So I would love to see that. I think he would be an amazing Thrawn, and especially after he played, Khan.
Technically, it might be possible, because Thrawn isn't someone who is. I would expect them to probably bring him into like the finale, which it would be like a 3-minute scene where him probably just turning.
You think in the teaser?
Facing camera, maybe. Yeah, like that.
So it'll be like Thanos at the end of Avengers, right? Just turning around. Like,
literally, where like they could fly him in, boom, get makeup, do a couple takes, and you never know. But that is, Disney would do something like that.
Yeah. All right, let's get on to the game. Well, it is Disney, and as long as Kathleen Kennedy doesn't get involved and lets Jon Favreau do his thing, I think we're going to get some good stuff out of it. But we know Kathleen Kennedy, and she likes to get her hands into things and ruin things. So
get them dirty, yeah.
Yep. She should be let go, just like kind of Casey was let go from BioWare. I listened to that conversation you guys had about whole BioWare thing and everything. BioWare I think you're right, though. I think if BioWare with the next Mass Effect rather, and Dragon Age and the reboot of Anthem, if all of that fails, EA is going to spin them
they're
out.
done.
Yeah, this is EA. They're ruthless, man. They will just kill them. So hopefully these games do well.
And I think part of the problem with BioWare is because EA has gotten so involved with it.
Yeah.
I wish EA would be like they are with Respawn and just let Respawn go do, what they need to do. Because look at what Respawn has done with Titanfall and with, Fallen Order. I mean, those are fantastically amazing games. That Titanfall 2, I would also agree, is that
they revamped a failed first game, and then they went out of the box and tried something completely different.
I think Titanfall 2 is one of the underrated games of the generation.
That's my most popular tweet of the week. I put that out. Like, I got a lot of love. That was the opposite of you usually get. It's like there's a lot of people. I love the game. It's like because the game was fantastic. But unfortunately, it came out at the wrong time. Literally, EA put it out after Battlefield. Like, what are you doing? And then before it was sandwiched between Battlefield and Call of Duty. No chance. No chance whatsoever.
But it was better than Battlefront.
Oh yeah, well that's not saying much, is it?
Better than 1 and 2. Better than Squadrons too, because Squadron is flaming pile.
Oh man,
dude, I got it on sale for $20. Same sale that you got Fallen Order on, and I was like, okay, let's try it for $20. I wasn't gonna pay full price for it. I played the first 2 missions. I'm like, nope, delete it, gone. See ya.
Wow.
It was pretty, but that's about it. So anyways, gaming news wise, Xbox announced xCloud is going to be coming to iOS and PC in the spring. Now with iOS though, it is going to be going through a browser so they can get around the App Store restrictions.
Oh, that's so annoying.
So
that's so annoying.
Honestly, it's nice that it's coming to iOS and whatnot. I may actually try it out then on my iPad and stuff like that, because there's some games that are on the Xbox that would be nice to play that are older stuff, because we all know they don't have really anything for exclusives right now, because Halo is now postponed until fall of next year.
By the way, we're going to talk about that, because some of those screenshots we saw look way different than what we saw before, man. Like,
absolutely.
That's what, going back on that, by the way, I'm hijacking your show because I'm going to talk about Halo real quick.
Welcome to Crashing Game Night. That's what we're all about. This is like game night, and we will hijack whatever it goes.
Yeah,
That's the whole point.
obviously, yeah, but yeah, obviously, like you said, right, the biggest sticking point with Xbox, right, Series X is like the fact that it has no exclusives right now, right? And if you bought an Xbox Series X, what's on the box? All over it,
Halo.
Master Chief everywhere, right? That was supposed to be the marquee game, but then
I mean, the marketing with Taco Bell, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Taco Bell had it on all their cups and everything like that, and those got quickly pulled because there's no Halo to go off of.
Yeah. I mean, like they were ready, and then Craig happened, and that was all over. And I still maintain, I've said this on Throwdown many times, right? If that footage that they showed of Halo Infinite, that first reveal, whatever, if that had gone over well, I guarantee you that game would not have been delayed. I guarantee you that it would have came out this fall had that footage been well received.
Well, because at least then they would have been better prepared. They obviously were not prepared for that first one.
Yeah, no, they weren't. So, but again, what I'm seeing now, I'm very hopeful. I'm like, okay, that looks like a next gen game. That looks great, So hopefully, but it does kind of suck that. Oh, by the way, gotta toot my own horn right now, man. I predicted it. I said this game's gonna be delayed until fall 2021 because people were saying, no, it's gonna come out in March. I'm like, no. They're gonna do a serious overhaul right now. That's what's going on. So I'm making this prediction live now, right here, right? They're gonna do. I'm gonna call it a soft relaunch of the Series X next year when Halo comes. Right? They're gonna remind people of the X and all that, and by that time they'll actually have more exclusives. So it'll be like.
And I also feel like we're probably gonna see maybe our first limited edition as well.
Oh yeah! Without a doubt.
I would go with Tony. What you're saying, the soft relaunch. I think that would be a perfect time to do the Halo Series X.
Yeah, and then max it up with the bundle. Yep. You're good to go. Because now by that time you'll actually have enough units out there without these stupid bots buying them all up. You're gonna have enough units out there to actually have bundles. Because people were asking, like, we're wondering, what kind of bundles are we gonna have when the system launch? Look at history. We've never had bundles for launches because there's not enough units out there. But a year later, dude, I'm telling you right now, they're gonna do a soft relaunch of the Series X to reintroduce it to the public. With Halo and maybe Hellblade. That'd be fantastic, and all this other stuff, and plus Game Pass and all that. So next year is going to be good. Like this launch, I was skeptical about it, but it actually turned out pretty well, at least for the PlayStation side. So next year we're going to start seeing some serious stuff on both sides. But Microsoft, it's really theirs to take. Good.
I think Microsoft is kind of making that mistake though, where Phil was saying it's going to be at least they wanted 2 years without an exclusive.
But that's their investment.
At that point, though, I mean, I get what they want to do
that's what they're doing,
because they're focusing on Game Pass, which I mean, for a lot of people, it is a fantastic value. For me, I just like playing my games, and I won't have to worry about going back to try and play something and it's Netflix style and it's gone. Because we do know, like with PlayStation now, they remove games as well. Square Enix at the time said, "Hey, you got to pull all the Final Fantasy 13s off of PlayStation now. We don't want them on there anymore."
Yeah,
and we haven't seen them. So. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I think honestly, Microsoft needs to start having those killer apps that are exclusive to them, to really drive that. I mean, granted they had the biggest launch in their history with the Series X. I mean, they sold 2 million units, I think it was, something like that.
Oh, I haven't seen the numbers yet because I know.
Yeah, they were saying it was like 2.2 or something like that. And then, but PlayStation, on the other hand, has already doubled up on that.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. One of the numbers I saw was like 4 million units were shipped.
Wow.
For the PS3.
How many of those were bought up by those scalpers though?
Right, the ones over in England. I mean, what was it? I think it was you that posted it, Tony, about the guys that are now just starting to hijack trucks. And
I saw that.
I made the comment, and I was like, "Well, the bots aren't working anymore."
Yeah, they're not working anymore. By the way, I saw this meme. I didn't post it because I try, even though I like to poke fun sometimes, I try not to give too much into the fanboy war because it's just stupid. But I saw this one meme. It was hilarious. Like, okay, it was a picture of a big truck with an Xbox Series X logo on the side, and they were like, "This is how you prevent people from stealing PlayStation 5."
I saw that today. It's hilarious.
That's amazing.
That's funny.
And then because again, PlayStation guys are the biggest trolls. On the front of it, the grill had a 60 Metacritic score. I'm like, bruh, you guys are brutal,
dude. It was hilarious.
That's tough.
So talking about something that's actually Metacritic wise, that's actually starting to review well is Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
some people have it already because Tony, like you pointed out, Steam.
Yeah.
Has it already up and running. Console players, if you're overseas, some of you guys already gotten it because it's already
baby. Tomorrow.
It's already tomorrow, man.
Thanks to physical,
Yep.
Jerry's getting it tomorrow.
That's right. Physical,
he's gotta
baby.
wait.
Physical. That's fine.
So CD Projekt Red is putting out a epilepsy warning now for the game, which I think this is huge. Steve Saylor, aka Blind Gamer, he brought this up today, kind of on Twitter talking about this, as well as, what it came out in an article, that the Dream Dance sequences, some of the club scenes use the light patterns are the same light patterns that neurologists use to test for epilepsy. And
oh, wow.
So even if I thought about, hey, maybe picking it up this weekend to play, for me, because I lived with epilepsy for 5-6 years of my life, I won't even touch it. Not until they do the actual post-launch patch, which they're going to start working on to actually remove that out, because it actually is really bad, because it is designed to actually trigger the seizures in a patient so they can determine where in the brain it's misfiring. That way they can also determine, once they see that quadrant, they can go in, they can see if it's a tumor, they can see if it's just, sometimes it's just head trauma, which is what mine was, and it causes the brain wiring to get screwed up. So they are putting in a seizure warning, though, that does say, though, that there are scenes that are going to do this, and when they put up that warning, to look away. So that way it doesn't trigger those. So kudos to them for doing it right before launch. But part of me was just like, maybe you guys should have thought about this, though, when you guys were actually building the game to begin with, as far as the patterns go. Because there are some flashing patterns you can do that won't trigger epileptic seizures. But when you use the same pattern as the tools that doctors use, for me, that's a little, that it sucks. But that being said, Tony, you got to play the tutorial piece, at least. What from the tutorial, at least, because we know that you didn't get a review copy or anything like that.
Jerry's over here drooling right now.
I know, right?
I am, man.
So how is it, at least the tutorial, for you?
Yeah, it was good. Just I want to give a shout out to my friend Gabriel Zamora. I've known him forever, so he is the guy who's reviewing the game for us for PC Bag. By the time this episode goes live, I believe that review will be up. Looking forward to that. So I bought it off of Steam. I also bought it on PlayStation 5, the PS4 version, because I just want to see which one ultimately ends up being better for me, because this game is like a graphics beast, right? Like, I have a GTX 1080, i4790, right? I could run it pretty well, but I want this thing souped up like to high hell, but I can't do that, obviously. So what I did was I picked a Nomad, right? I went because I read up on the classes and stuff. There's the corporate one, Corpo, Nomad, and Street Kid. And I'm like, okay, that sounds more interesting, because you start off in the like wastelands outside, like a desert outside, of Night City. So I'm like, I kind of want to go into Night City instead of just being there. So did that little intro. That was really cool. I had to mess around with some graphical settings. I did find out something fun, though, even though I don't have like RTX or anything like that. I bumped it all up to ultra. Frame rate is 30, but it looks nice. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna play it like that, I was like, let me just put out to 1440p resolution. Frame rate's like, it's like 30-ish, which is okay. I think the motion blur is kind of helping smooth out some of that stuff, though. But so I like that. I tried to approximate the look of the character on the box. I think I got it right. Because I'm not really that type of person that likes to like customize my character. I'm like, no, who's on the box? I'm going to play as that guy. Like I want to, because when I play a game,
I just go with like different aesthetics how I want to like make him look. I usually go for the default looking guy.
Because my whole thing is, just a quick aside, like when I'm playing a game, I don't want to play as me. I'm me 24/7. I want to play as somebody else. I want to get lost in the world. It's just distracting to have a character that looks like me. I'm like, no, I just want to be lost in, like Mass Effect. I play as the guy on the box or the girl on the box. Like I play as either of them. So by the way, that's what I'm gonna do. PC, I'm playing as the guy in the box, and then on PS4, PS5, I'm going to play as the girl in the box, just to mix it up. But
nice.
and you always notice that those custom characters always look better than anything you can make anyway. So anyway, I did that.
Sure.
Oh, by the way, for people to know, I left the penis size alone. I'm like, listen, bro, I left that alone. And there's a reason why I tweeted about this. Like, if this was younger Tony, I'm like, make that shit as big as possible, But I'm older now. Yeah, but I'm older. I'm like, listen, man, it's not about the size, it's about how you use it, So my man's gonna use what he has, Anyway, so yeah, I did that. That was really cool, and it shows you, some little bit of action, some stuff. But then when you get into Night City itself, that's when you do the actual proper tutorial. Like they show you how to shoot guns, how to take cover. By the way, the cover system of this, remember, this is a first person game, right? Cover system is it's comparable to Far Cry. Far Cry is like the only first person game that I know that does cover well. Most don't really do it.
Cover and even like peek up a little bit.
This game does the same thing.
Awesome.
The same exact thing.
Cool.
So it's dope. And it reminds me of a lot. I guess it's because the only other cyberpunk type of game out there, Deus Ex, specifically Human Revolution and Mankind Divided, which are fantastic games because you can go either way. You can go in there guns blazing, or you can hack. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of both. Basically, I'm going to go in there stealthily, hack when I can. But if things go wrong, time to pop that gat and do my thing, But yeah, again, I can't go too deep into it because I literally haven't played too much. But I'm enjoying it, man, and I'm just happy my graphics card to do its thing. I'm like, all right, let's look at.
I was gonna say, is your graphics card still alive?
Yeah, I don't know. I should probably touch my PC afterwards. I'm gonna do a little stream after this. Like how hot does it get? Because my original plan was I was gonna wait until I got it. Either one or two things happen. Either I got my new PC, which is dependent on whatever those 3080s are available. Thank you, bots, again, or when the PS5 upgrade came in. But then I started seeing all the chatter. I'm like, Tony, man, you're a video game journalist. You can't be out of the loop on this one. You got to be in it. So, and I was also interested because I like, for example, Animal Crossing was like the big game. I'm not playing that shit, but this I'll play. Obviously, I was going to play it anyway, I offended the Animal Crossing fans. Get out of here with that. Although I will say, I just real quick, I will say about the Game Awards, I think it's going to be Animal Crossing or The Last of Us that's going to win. That's not what I would pick. I would pick Ghost of Tsushima. No. That's the best game of the year, in my opinion. But I think, because of the critical darlings, right? Who usually wins. So I think it's going to be one of those. Anyway, so yes, and unfortunately, Cyberpunk isn't eligible. Came out too late. So it's actually going to be eligible for next year's game show, which is weird, But I'm liking it so far because I was still like, how is this game going to control? Is it going to be buggy? Because I've seen these videos, bruh, it looks ridiculous. But no issues on my end. It was running fine, looked good. It's just I couldn't go with because I have the GeForce Experience, and I usually just hit recommended settings, but it just looked bad. I'm like, fuck it. Ultra, let's go. But no, it's good so far. I was worried about the gun combat, but it's actually pretty solid, especially the cover system. I'm like, okay, you give me a good cover system in a first person game, I'm sold. I'm there.
Right.
But I just literally just thought about this now. Because this game's supposed to be more about tactics and stuff, right? That already makes it more tactical instead of like Call of Duty just running in and stuff. Like, no, choose your cover. Yeah. So good stuff so far. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Very nice. Now I kind of have an idea how I'm going to start because it sounds like if you go Nomad, you're kind of going before the tutorial, so you're kind of getting a leg up and leveling up.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Yeah.
For the videos that I saw for people that got the 4-hour trial with the devs, all three start their own separate starting point in the story and meet at the night and have the same tutorial.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I heard the Street Kid, his is the shortest of the intros. That's the other reason. I'll skip that. Corporal, I probably will try the Corporal one because that sounds pretty interesting too.
I think that's going to be the last one I try.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, because I used to love doing that with RPGs like Mass Effect. Like, I want to try different versions of them, play through them. I don't do that now. Just two things. Games are way longer than they used to be, and I just don't have the time because I have to juggle so many games. But I heard that this game is actually not as long as some other RPGs. Like, thank you. That means I can try different things.
Well,
it's
not as long. It's not as long as when you go the story route, but if you do all the side missions, though, it's supposedly pretty long.
So I actually have the actual hours. So the story, I think, if you bare bones it and just go straight story, not even like some side quests or trying to level up, bare bones, just trying to get through the story, I heard it was like between 30 and 40 hours.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, that's not bad.
But if you go the whole route in the entire game and every side quest and whatever, 170 hours. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, man.
That's investment right there.
Just like Red Dead, we lost Jerry.
Yeah. I'm gonna get every car.
Jerry's gonna do all 3 stories. So
I am.
And he's the completionist, so he's gonna do all the side quests with all 3 storylines.
Yeah.
So we're losing him for
we'll see. We'll see how much I have to find, because maybe I'll dedicate one to find everything, but like go through the story with the other ones. But we'll see.
So the other thing that came out around Cyberpunk this week, and we've been talking as of late with targeted harassment, right? We talked about with Zombie, with everyone, targeting her with, some death threats and everything like that, which was great that Kotaku actually did an interview with her and put out an article for her so she could actually tell her side. But there's this YouTube channel called The Quartering, which I'd never heard about until, you guys, Tony, you posted about it, Khalif posted about it, Danny said something about it. But they went and targeted a journalist because they didn't feel like, well, she did a good job. Tony, from what I was seeing from you guys say, is this like Quartering's MO?
Yeah, he's been around for a bunch of years. I've seen some of his stuff. Like, that's what he does. He like kind of sees like whatever controversy is happening on Twitter, does videos about it. And then the video he did now, it was GameSpot's review of the Cyberpunk, right? And because they gave it like a low score, by the way, 7 out of 10. When the hell was that a low score, bro?
Right.
That's low nowadays. By the way, here's for you guys who don't know, here's the modern gaming ratings, right? 1 through 6, complete and utter trash, right? 7, trash. 8, 9, it's decent. 10, greatest game ever. That's the modern rating system. So anyway, so she gave it a 7 out of 10, and apparently she had like given a lot of games like low scores or whatever. So he was bringing that up. But obviously, what happens? You do a video, the legions come out, so they were going after her. So that's pretty much what this guy does, which is, I don't know what to say about it. It is what it is, but like I've had videos made up about me too. It sucks, but the internet's going to be the internet, but people have been, fighting back. So that there's that at least, but it's just the way it is. Like when you're in the public spotlight, you pretty much got a target on your head, so no matter what you do, even if you try to appease everybody, you're going to get enemies, this is how it is. So it just sucks. Like when it comes to gaming, it's like we can't all just be unified and like enjoy the games. There always has to be some kind of drama that people got to latch on to. People with like ulterior motives or whatever. It's sad that has to happen. And the last thing we need is that in 2020. But unfortunately, it's how it is. Like you have a big game, somebody's going to try to find something controversial and just run with it. Yep.
All right, Tony. So we actually had a mutual kind of friend of ours actually has a question for you that she wanted answered. Ew. So it's Nikki.
Okay. Oh, is this who I think it is?
Yes. Mass Effect Nikki.
Yeah. British Nikki, right? Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I love her. She's awesome.
So she wanted to know your top 5 spaceships that you would fly.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Good question.
Random.
I would fly.
Yep.
That's a really good question. Like, okay, but what kind of ships?
That's the thing. It's like, okay, if I'm flying them or captaining them, that's a difference.
Yeah,
She
are
said
these like piloted
spaceships
ships
you would
with
fly.
cargo
She didn't specify.
or
So
fighters?
it could be,
Could be
it could be an X-wing. It could be the Enterprise. It could be
Okay.
you know,
yeah, that's good.
Serenity. You know,
First one that comes to mind, and this is why Nikki and I are friends on Twitter. Literally the first one came to mind. The Normandy from Mass Effect.
Yep.
Like
Okay,
that would
hold
be
on.
like the ultimate one.
Bitch.
Yeah.
SR. Okay, hold on. SR1 or SR2?
See, here's the thing. Like, I want to say SR2, right? But I like the lighting inside of the first one, you know, because it was all dark and mysterious and stuff.
I'm all about the upgrades. I'm SR2.
Yeah, I got to go with with SR2. Yeah, because I went through a lot to make that ship bomb.
Right?
You know what I mean?
That's why I like SR2.
Yeah. So yeah, so there's the Normandy. Ooh, oh yeah, I got to go with the Enterprise D specifically, the Picard ship. You know, got to go with that. I'm doing this off the cuff. I was not prepared for this. It's funny, like I'm always like I'm prepared to do anything on a podcast. I was not prepared for this one.
Yeah, that was a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on, because I'm not okay. Don't just limit it to TV shows or movies. Go nuts. There's so many out there. You know, anime. What's the name of the ship from Cowboy Bebop?
I was just thinking about the Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, that one. Just because it's so gritty and all that, you know. I'm throwing the easy one out there, Millennium Falcon, you know.
Yeah.
Got to do that Kessel run, you know. And one more. Yeah, you know what? This kind of I'm cheating a little bit right now. Cheating a little bit because it can fly in space. I forget the name of the robots from Macross. You know, they look like planes and stuff, but you can morph into robots. They fly in space. That's technically a spaceship.
Yeah.
You know, but if I can't do that, then the main ship, the actual Macross, you know, like because that thing morphs into a giant robot. You know what? Forget the fighter pilots. I want that ship, the main one, the big one. You know,
I think
we're gonna mess up this Andrade, man. Let's go.
The Cowboy Bebop, assuming you're talking about the red one, it's the Swordfish 2.
Swordfish 2, okay.
Swordfish 2, right.
Yeah.
I would also throw in the Winnebago.
Oh, Spaceballs, yes.
Yeah. You would go Spaceballs, dude. You would totally go Spaceballs.
Yes.
I think my all-time first, I would have to go Serenity.
Ooh,
yeah, I'd have to go Serenity. That's too close to the heart. And I love that shit, man.
I did say it. I would go with the Defiant over the Enterprise D.
Really?
That's just me personally. Okay.
I'm just making that face. I'm like, man, I think that's a better answer. It's awesome, man. Defiant is awesome.
It can, you know, it's a gunship.
Also,
all it is there direct stuff.
Nikki, I'm sorry, you said 5. We're going off right now. What's it? I've only ever read because the Expanse. I've never watched it, so I just read the books. The Rocinante, I think that's how you spell it. Like, that ship is dope.
Oh yeah.
Especially with.
There's so many. There's so many good ships out there for movies. You know.
Yeah.
But,
great question. Love you, Nikki. You're awesome.
Yep. All right, we have a listener voicemail. Newman.
Nice. Hey. Oh, nice. Oh, Newman.
Yep. So, Tony, the backstory is we had Danielle Basutti on, who plays Freya in God of War.
Nice.
So, we have a coworker of mine that would leave messages and stuff and target Jerry. So, we were trying to explain it to her, and she's like, and we're like, yeah, Jerry's her nemesis. And she's like, what, like Newman? So, since then, it's been this running joke. And he's actually kind of run with it, and you know his name's not even Newman, but he does the Newman-esque stuff.
Makes all the USPS jokes. And
yeah. By the way, real quick, I interviewed her, Christopher Judge, and the guy who plays Balder. They were all dope. You know,
awesome.
I'm like that's Teal, man. You know, like I love Stargate SG-1, so I was just like, you know,
right.
All right, you said it through.
Jealous of you on the Chris Judge. Really am, because that'd be awesome. But I
actually but the thing is, I met him before I was even a journalist at a Comic-Con, and I was gushing back then, you know. But obviously,
was that during the time of Stargate?
No, No, Stargate had already finished. SG1 had already finished, right? The New York Comic Con, he was just doing a signing, and I told him, dude, I love you, blah, 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 you're awesome. But for God of War, it was during that whole press thing, and obviously I was more professional about it. I wasn't going fucking crazy, you know. But it was really cool. And Corey Barlog was there too. Yeah, the director was also there. But I was just like, holy shit, this, yeah, he's really awesome. Cool dude. He's awesome.
All right.
You go ahead, Ben.
All right, guys, testing out your new interface on your website. Great shows. Love to see new guests and everything like that. And I agree with Jerry that Match.com commercial with the 2020 encounter was a wonderful thing. Enjoying the shows. Things have been pretty busy. Don't really have a lot for you. And we knew Jerry was going to say Red Dead Redemption. It looks like your interface is working fine. Going to go ahead and record this, send it off. And this is Newman. Talk to you next time.
Right. Yeah, we actually integrated SpeakPipe into our website.
Nice.
Which is nice. We were using Anchor, the podcasting platform for voicemails, and yeah, it wasn't so great. Anyways, so yeah, Newman. I miss him. I miss old Newman because he's agreeing with you, Jerry.
I know. It's weird.
You know. All right. So real quick roundtable. Real quick roundtable. So Tony, what else have you been playing besides Jedi Fallen Order and a little bit of Cyberpunk? And I know you did Godfall.
Ooh, man, yo, by the way, so my review finally went up for that game, right? And little bit of insider story, right? I originally gave it a 1 out of 5. The game is bad, right? Yeah. So I looked at my review went up and it was 2.5 out of 5. I'm like, my editor bumped up the score. So he hit me up he's like, oh, Tony, we can't give a game a 1 out of 5 if it's not technically broken. I'm like, yeah, that's right. The game's not broken. It's just bad, you know? So that's the lowest score that PC Mag will give to anything.
That's the default low score.
That's amazing.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, dude, I'm sorry.
I would think broken would be 0.
No. It's just, like it has to be broken to be a 1 out of 5. So 2 out of 5, 2.5. And by the way, this is because some of the chatter that's been going around the Twitterverse is like, oh, gaming journalists, they always give positive reviews because they get free stuff. I got the game for free, and I said, fuck that. I got to because my thing is, if I am not honest with my readers, right, my listeners, no one's going to take me seriously. So I don't care if they fucking the developers sent me this huge box full of like shot glasses. I appreciate it. That's not swaying my opinion.
Right.
I gotta be honest about
it. So you got a press kit with it too.
Yeah, I got the whole shebang. Again, nice. Appreciate it. But if you read my review, I didn't thrash it. I was trying to be fair.
Straight up honest. It was a very well written article for what it was.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah. By the way, here's the funny thing. Another quick insider thing, right? Usually when I send off my my things, my pieces to my editor, right? He would always get back to me. Hey, can you change this? Can you fix that? Nothing for this one. It was exactly as it is. I'm like, damn,
it's awesome.
Yeah, like everything was changed. I'm like, because the thing is, when I'm like really, just for lack of a better term, really angry, I'm more focused. I'm writing about this game trash. Blah, 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 blah. I just went off, Anyway, so I played that. Thankfully, that's in the past. Demon Souls is the game that I've been playing a lot. I love me some Souls games, and this one is just the original one, the one that started it all. And it's funny because I originally didn't like the game when I played it on PS3. I'm like, what? I'm like, it's way too difficult. I paid my dues back in the 80s playing these crazy ass hard games. I don't need to do this to myself anymore, right? But then when Bloodborne came out, I was going to avoid that. I'm like, it's like Demon Souls, forget. I'm not going to play. One of my boys, Chris Seeley from my podcast, he had an extra copy. He's like, hey, I'll sell it to you for $40. I'm like, all right, fine. And I got on. So I'm like, hey, you know what? This is my first time playing one of these games for real. I'm going to stream it, right? So I streamed me playing against the big werewolf beast at the beginning. I got fucked up, but it was so much fun. I was like, okay. And then the funny thing is, this is the way the brain works, right? Like, even if you're not thinking about something, you're working on in the back of your mind, right? Wake up the next morning, fuck them up. Like instantly, like I'm like, oh,
that's what happened with me with Sekiro. Sekiro, I started like even at work, I was like, how can I beat him? How can if I move?
Okay,
or if
you gave up on the Sekiro challenge, so we're not even going to go there, Jay.
Damn. Hey, listen, a lot of people gave up on that.
It beat me. I'm not going to lie. But I still thought about it, and I still did that.
So, Theo, what have you been playing?
I actually have not been playing that much. Been more focused on some archery stuff.
Which is awesome.
Nice.
Little bit of Beyond Light here and there, some dailies. Same with some dailies with Animal Crossing.
Yep.
Getting them toys for Toy Day.
Jerry,
let's see.
other than COD.
COD with you guys, obviously. I finally started Sackboy. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I heard it's good.
Actually,
I heard it's good.
It is really good.
Really good.
I really
very
like
impressed
it.
with
really
it,
like
actually.
Sackboy.
Dude, best way to put it, Tony, is think of Little Big Planet for what it actually really could do from a platforming perspective. Take out all the bullshit.
Yeah,
the
yeah, give me
stickers and all that.
all that stuff. Yeah, because
So
I
straight
liked
platformer.
the first Little Big Planet, the actual platforming stuff. I enjoyed
Mm-hmm.
that. But again, I love platforming. That's what. By the way, Astro's Playroom is like the surprise of the year. I'm like,
much
whoa,
fun.
this is good.
Surprise
So
game.
good.
So much fun.
Yep.
And it's
All right.
officially
That
my
one was great,
second
too.
platinum for PlayStation.
Nice.
So
nice.
uh,
That was my first, bro. That was my first for PS5. I was like, I'm gonna get a platinum.
Oh
for
no,
that.
this is just all PlayStation.
Oh,
my
no,
second.
yeah.
I'm hitting Valhalla pretty hard, and
Yeah, I've been playing that too. Yeah.
I also tried Phoenix Rising, Immortals.
Oh, nice.
so
That's an interesting game because it has a lot of aspects of like Breath of the Wild in it. But I would also say, like, if you're a Fable fan, I think you'd really enjoy it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
Yeah,
With how they like kind of twist it.
and there's a
make
lot
fun
to
of
do in the
stuff.
game. So I'm that's why I'm focusing on COD and Valhalla right now because there's a lot to do in that game too.
Yep. So for me, it's been Animal Crossing, just a little bit here and there. Fired up Spider-Man Miles Morales today to try out the new update for that, and boy, 60 frames per second with ray tracing looks absolutely beautiful.
Get back on that. Yeah.
Some Sackboy.
Welcome to the PC world.
Man, always man with these PC players, man, all the time.
I knew it. Don't bait them. And then played more Haven. So I'm far enough into the game where I think I can really write my article about it now. Because we did get the review copy from Game Bakers. Man, part of that game just all of a sudden the difficulty just ratchets up all of a sudden, and
Oh, really?
characters aren't built correctly. So, yeah, that's been my only negative with it is just that the difficulty level, depending on where you're going, just ratchets up, and it's not like where Metroid where you can't go into a certain area because you're not ready for it. It is just like you can go wherever, and if you're not ready, you're going to get your butt kicked, and there's not enough resources to build your healing stuff and everything around there because everything has to regrow back. So that's my only real negative with Haven. It's a beautiful game. I like some of the mechanics with it. Honestly, I don't know if I would have tried it out, honestly. And then I still got Pathless. I'm starting to work on that too. So
That's a good game. Yeah, that's a good game.
all right.
Oh wow. Okay.
So Tony, I know we got to get you out of here in a couple minutes. So real quick, we ask a question of every single guest of ours is what is your favorite game to play for game night? Whether it's family, friends, whatever, board game, video game, whatever it is, what's your favorite game for game night?
Traditions.
Game night. So interesting because I don't really have a game night. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, whatever I'm currently playing. Like I know it's a cop-out answer. I'm not one of those people that like they always have. You know how some people have games that they always frequently go back to. I kind of just by the nature of what I do, I don't do that. I always go to the next big thing. So yeah, game night is whatever it is I'm currently playing. In this case, Cyberpunk. That's my answer.
Nice.
All
All right, Tony. So why
I
don't
will
you
be
let
joining
listeners
tomorrow.
Yeah, why don't you let our listeners know where they can find you on social media?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at Romudeth. That's ROMUDETH. And in the bio, you can see links to my stuff, PC Mag, Laptop Mag, Tom's Guide, and of course, Throwdown, which is my podcast. We air on Thursday and Sunday nights at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Thursday show is where we cover all the big gaming news of the week. The Sunday show is where we answer fan questions, and we're actually coming up on our last 4 episodes of the year before we take a break. We always take a 2-week break after 50. We do 100 episodes a year, right? So we always take a break. So we're gonna do our big VGA live stream. We're gonna do our reactions to it. That's gonna be that, and then next week is when things get really interesting. We're gonna have the final episode of the year, which is our big 2020 wrap up. We're going to talk about all the big gaming news, our favorite games of the year. We're also going to have the final Throwdown Your Question of the Year, which is an AMA special, which is basically we encourage people, don't ask us game stuff, ask us literally anything else, and those are always like the big,
cool,
3 hour long, crazy, because we talk about everything.
Like,
yeah,
I like that. Yeah,
it's
really
a lot of
that.
fun. Yeah, and so sometimes the fans get deep with some philosophical questions. Like, bring it. Yeah. And we're also going to have one extra episode this year. One extra episode. We have to do it. The ultimate one, man. Generation wrap up. We're gonna do everything. We're gonna wrap up the entire generation.
Nice.
Because think about it, the generation's pretty much over, right? So we're gonna give our thoughts on it. So that's gonna be really cool, and then we'll come back strong on January. We don't skip a beat, throw it out. I pride on the fact that, or I'm prideful of the fact that we don't miss episodes, right? The only time of the year we're ever, not this year because, the Rona or whatever, but the only time we're inconsistent with our show is during E3 where we have more episodes than usual, so, but when if you're a listener, when you wake up on Fridays or Monday morning, you got a show ready. So very proud of that. And, I want to give a shout out to you guys for having me on. I love this podcast because, again, reminds me of the old Throwdown. We're just like, we're talking about a movie here. We're going to talk about a game here. We're going to talk about a TV show here. So keep doing your thing, guys. This is fantastic, man.
Yeah, and absolutely. Thank you for coming on and crashing with us. To all our listeners, I want to thank you guys for crashing game night with us tonight, as always. Give you guys a heads up. Next week's episode is going to be our second annual holiday episode. And we are going to have some returning guests from the Final Fantasy VII Remake cast, as well as a fan's going to be joining with us. And the folks from Final Fantasy Weekly are going to be joining us as well. So it's going to be a big shenanigans-laden podcast, as you would expect.
Big
especially
FF7 day.
Especially when John Eric Bentley joins the cast, things really go off rails. So, you know what? So, always, guys, if you like what you heard, please subscribe to us on whatever platform you're listening to us on. If you want to leave that voicemail, go on over to crashinggamenight.com, head on over to the podcast tab, and click that leave message button. We'll play them during the cast. And as always, guys, be excellent to each other. Stay frosty.
To all of my fellow nerds, thank you all. Please subscribe and press that little notification button in our YouTube channel. It is always appreciated, but thank you for listening to us, and also please participate in the voicemails. We love them. We want them. We want you to want to do them. And also, thank you so much for joining us today. I had a lot of fun on this podcast.
Yeah.
This is
so much fun. It was great having you, Tony.
So awesome. This is great, man.
Yeah, man.
Dude, follow him on Twitter. You got to follow him on Twitter. It's the
greatest.
Oh, jeez. So,
and all right, guys, thanks for listening.
Go for it. Sorry, be safe. Always show your support to all of the foundations and Black Lives Matter, Time's Up, all of that. Once again, never let it die, and be safe out there.
Yep. Theo, send us out like only
stay
you can.
Thanks for listening. TTFN. Ta-ta for now.
Good night, everybody.